Hello, church. We hope and pray that you are well, even in the midst of this time of physical distancing. We miss you. There's no glossing over the fact that this isolation and the so-called new normal have been taking an effect on both young and old in our congregation. So we want to encourage you to take advantage of a few ways that you can continue to stay in contact with others. They're outlined in this email that you've been sent. We hope that they help you, at least in some small way, to experience fellowship, to experience community in the midst of this isolation. I don't know if you can hear in the background Peter and Jacob hammering as they continue to put the new siding on the church as we continue to renovate here. And as we hunger for fellowship, as churches meet all over the world virtually now and not physically, I saw a list of church signs in the midst of COVID-19. One said, "Jesus can wash away sin, but you still got to wash your hands." Another, "Spread the word, not the virus." And then maybe my favorite during Holy Week, "I hadn't planned to give up quite this much during Lent." And so as we continue to move through Holy Week and as we look for signs of hope in the midst of a hurting world, in the midst of having to give up certain things, we want to remember and reflect on the suffering and the crucifixion and the death and the resurrection of Jesus. Nothing brings us hope like the resurrection. And nothing but the resurrection of Jesus Christ can bring us hope. But of course, to get to Easter, to get to the resurrection, we need to walk through the suffering and death and the extent of Jesus' physical pain. I was reminded of Tony Campolo used to talk about and preach a sermon in which he had the line, "It's Friday, but Sunday's a-coming." And I don't know if you know this, but today is sometimes called Holy Wednesday during Holy Week, or it's alternately called Spy Wednesday. And it's called Spy Wednesday because remember on it that Jesus was betrayed by Judas, a spy among the disciples. He betrayed Jesus with a kiss for 30 pieces of silver. And so we pay attention during Holy Week to betrayals. Certainly the betrayal of Judas, but we think also of Peter's betrayal, and the betrayal that was predicted by Jesus of Peter, before the rooster crows. And in these betrayals, we recognize somehow our own betrayal, right? And our own need for a Savior, right? We're not Judas, we're not Peter, but somehow in them we see ourselves reflected. And 35 plus years ago, Lucy Shaw wrote this poem for Holy Week, and it's entitled Judas Peter. Judas Peter. Because we are all betrayers, taking silver and eating body and blood and asking, "Guilty, is it I?" and hearing him say, "Yes." It would be simple for us all to rush out and hang ourselves, but if we find grace to cry and wait after the voice of morning has crowed in our ears clearly enough to break our hearts, he will be there to ask us each again, "Do you love me?" And so as you long for Jesus' resurrection kingdom to take God's full effect, God's peace be with you all.